What is going on, Solo fam? My name is John Solo, and welcome to the third official episode of Messed Up Origins Crypt TV Edition. For the past few weeks, we've been analyzing horror shorts from a channel called Crypt TV. They make extremely high quality horror films and series that put a lot of the horror movies you see in theaters nowadays to shame. Their goal with the channel is to build a scary cinematic universe kind of like Marvel, where the stories all connect, and they expand on their most popular episodes and turn them into series. They upload every Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday, both original shorts and submissions from very talented filmmakers. The series that we've been looking at is called Crypt Fables, which puts a modern, messed up twist on the classic fairy tales we all know and love. The very same ones we discuss on this channel, as a matter of fact. So far, we've covered Rapunzel and Snow White, and today I want to talk about Pinocchio, or more accurately, Geppetto, because he's the real focus of this short. Before we start breaking that down though, let's do a quick recap of the original Pinocchio story for those who didn't watch yesterday's episode. The story follows a puppet named Pinocchio who was made from a block of magic wood by a woodcarver named Geppetto. He loves to misbehave and he causes trouble pretty much wherever he goes. The day after he's made, Geppetto sends him to school to learn some basic knowledge, and more importantly right now, manners. Only Pinocchio doesn't make it to school. He ends up selling his textbook for a ticket to go to a puppet show, which he actually ends up ruining by distracting all the puppets on stage who recognize him from their woodblock days. The puppet master is initially furious at Pinocchio, but he ends up letting him go when he finds out he has a poor father waiting for him at home, and he even gives him 5 gold coins out of sympathy. On his way back home, he runs into a mischievous fox and cat who convince him that burying his gold in the field of miracles will sprout gold coin trees and therefore make him even richer. These dudes do not have good intentions. They sneak ahead of Pinocchio and disguise themselves as bandits while waiting further down the path. As soon as he approaches, they try mugging him, and he almost gets away after biting the cat's hand off. The bandits catch up to him eventually though, and when they do, they tie his hands behind his back, string him up into a tree, and leave him alone there to reflect on all the mistakes he made that got him into this situation while he slowly suffocates and dies. That probably didn't go how you were expecting, did it? Me neither. If you want to learn more about that story, I'll have a link to it at the end of this video, but first, let's talk about Crypt TV's rendition of the story, because it's terrifying. When the fable starts, we see Geppetto, or in this version George, pouring himself a drink, as well as a newspaper article about a boy named Silas who drowned in the river while his father was napping on the shore. We then see George putting some final touches on a surprisingly creepy puppet that kinda looks like a little kid. This is why you don't mix drinking and woodworking. You might make a monstrosity. George takes another look at the picture of his son and compares it to the puppet he made. Another drink goes down the hatch, and suddenly that puppet has come to life and closely resembles his Silas. I'm starting to think George's egg might be a little cracked. He makes Silas his favorite meal, but after he's done, he looks a little worse for wear, and he's not having any of the games George is trying to play with him. A few hours go by, some more alcohol's ingested, and George finds that Silas has written him some notes. The first one says, "I need a friend," and the second one reads, "To stay alive." Don't we all, Silas? Don't we all? You might be thinking, well, George, you better get started on making a new puppet because Silas ain't looking so hot. The problem is that puppet took a long time to make, so George is gonna need something a little more expedient, a real child. It's perfect timing too, because school just got out. George steps outside and right away sees a little girl on her walk home. He uses some wackadoo puppet to get this little girl Beth's attention, and he invites her inside to see the rest of his little creations. They're having an alright time until Silas pulls his dad aside to say, "Hey, I'm still not feeling good. Also, why is this girl still here?" George is confused and tells Silas, "I got you a friend, you should be just fine." But his son gestures to the notes he wrote earlier and tells George to flip them around. Now we know his full message. I need a friend to stay alive, a life for a life. At first, George is appalled at the suggestion he should kill this girl, but as soon as Silas starts acting sick, the crazy old fart decides he'll do whatever it takes to keep his boy alive. Outside of actually staying awake when he's swimming in the river, of course. Boom, roasted. He brings Beth some hot tea, but shortly after she drinks it, she says her head feels funny, and then she collapses on the floor. The next shot is of the once human Silas slowly returning to his puppet form. The screen cuts to black, and a few moments later, George is fawning over the corpse corpse of his precious little girl and the wooden body of his precious, precious little boy. Pretty freaky, eh? Like I did, you probably have some questions about what you just saw. The thing is, Crypt TV doesn't always give you all the information because they want you to theorize and try to figure it out. So I took that challenge upon myself, and here's a few observations I made. First off, I like the added tragedy behind the father making the puppet to replace his son, as opposed to just wanting a child like Disney's Geppetto. If you watch the whole sketch again, you might notice that Silas never acts too human. He doesn't talk, his dad makes him a sandwich, but we don't see him eat it, and while these notes are sliding out from his tent, he's sound asleep. It shows you how crazy George really is. He's not even able to process that he's the one writing the notes, if the notes are even real, which makes their message all the more messed up. Somewhere in George's messed up head is the repressed idea that by sacrificing another child, that life will be given to his puppet, which by the way is just a puppet. This guy is having some deranged hallucinations. And you'll notice that Beth doesn't actually interact with Silas at all either. She doesn't even really look in his direction, which shows that he's probably just sitting around in his creepy puppet form looking like a decoration. I think it's also worth noting that just like the original Pinocchio, this puppet is downright disrespectful to his father, bossing him around and even getting physical at times. The one thing that stumps me is I don't know what George is gonna do with this little girl's body. I'm kinda scared he's gonna encase her in wood and turn her into a puppet forever. I don't know. I'm curious what you guys thought about the Geppetto short, so leave your theories and reviews in the comment section down below. If you're a member of the Solo fam who wants to support the channel and keep this series going strong, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe for new videos like this every week. We got 4 more of these shorts to cover and you don't want to miss them. Also, if you want to check out the full Geppetto short and any other Crypt TV content, which I highly recommend you do, I got their links in the description and in the comments. Thank you all so much for watching. Until next time, my name is John Solo, and remember, John shot first.